Mohasa, Minister for State President, and also acknowledge my colleagues from the National Planning Commission and the Office of the President, and yourselves, our guests, our friends, the media, and take these few minutes to welcome you, to appreciate your presence. We are really privileged to have you this morning, for you to have honored our invitation. We are aware that there is a lot that is happening in this country, in this economy. You could have chosen to go elsewhere, but you honored the call to come and be with us this morning to appreciate issues of national interest. We thought it was necessary for you to join us this morning, for the minister to deliberate with you, to engage with yourselves, to share with you the journey towards national development planning, the current plan, which is the Transitional National Development Plan, and also the journey towards developing the next plan, which is the National Development Plan 12. I'm sure you've heard a lot, snippets there and there, information regarding TNDP, and also plans to develop the next plan, which is NDP 12. So we thought, the minister thought it was necessary to have your audience this morning to share with you, to inform you of what has been decided by Parliament. As you might have heard from the recent Parliament, the extension. But then we thought, as the mouthpiece of this nation, of this economy, you will be better placed that the minister shares with you, so that you take the message to the people, because this is an issue that affects all of us across all the corners of this country. So we thought it was necessary that you come and join us this morning, so that you take the message to the people, so that they are ready to also work with us as we develop NDP 12. So once again, welcome colleagues to this morning's briefing. And let me at this point hand over, welcome our minister to the podium to share with us his message. So Honorable Minister, this is your time, sir. Thank you.
Let me start off. Let me start off by acknowledging the Program Director, Acting Commissioner General, staff of the National Planning Commission, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, Muso Monte. It is my honor and privilege to meet you this morning and brief you on the extension of the Transitional National Development Plan and the preparation of NDP 12. As a precursor to my briefing, I wish to indicate that coordination of the national planning or development planning process is done by the National Planning Commission in the office of, which resides in the office of the President. The National Planning Commission was established in 2022 with a view to provide inclusive leadership in strategy development, planning, implementation, coordination, performance monitoring, and evaluation. The key functions of the commissions are as follows. 1, to coordinate development and implementation of the long-term vision and strategy for Botswana. 2, to develop the country's national development plans. 3, coordinate national development planning and implementation, monitoring and evaluation. 4, coordinate policy formulation to ensure harmonious synergy and effectiveness. And 5, provide advocacy and communication for the national vision and its strategic interventions. Ladies and gentlemen, as you might be aware, implementation of the Transitional National Development Plan, TNDP, started in April 2023 and was planned to end in March 2025. The main reason for the TNDP was to allow for the implementation of reforms in the national development planning process, among which was to afford the incoming administration the opportunity to provide their input into the plan. Hence, the preparation of the 12th National Development Plan, which was expected to commence in April 2025, was delayed, as the time that was available was too short to allow for meaningful engagement with stakeholders. In view of this, government took a decision to delay the implementation of NDP 12 by extending the second TNDP by 7 months from April to October 2025. The extension allowed for the constitution of the Advisory Council of the National Planning Commission, which was established on the 20th February 2025. The role of the Advisory Council is to provide oversight on the work of the National Planning Commission. The Council is chaired by the Vice President, and its membership is made up of 4 cabinet ministers responsible for local government, finance, land management, and trade and industry, and not more than 10 members from the private sector with expertise in various strategic areas. Most importantly, the extension provided for extensive consultation with key stakeholders and to also take into consideration the promises of the ruling party in the planning process. Consultation is not only a key imperative of this administration to ensure respect for people's rights, but a necessary ingredient in the national development planning process. It is in this spirit that government has committed to engage closely with Botswana to ensure their aspirations are taken on board. You might have noted that throughout his engagement in different fora, the President has emphasized the need for stakeholders' engagement. In his recent Kotla meetings, the President further reiterated the need for each locality to stand ready to contribute to the preparation of NDP 12. We will therefore be commencing the nationwide consultation from tomorrow, which is the 8th April 2025, where we will be engaging the district leadership on the development of NDP 12. Tomorrow in the morning, we are engaging Gaborone and the areas around Gaborone, that is Greater Gaborone. In the morning, in the afternoon, we'll be engaging with the areas around Lubatse. We have directed the National Planning Commission to ensure wide stakeholder engagement as much as possible throughout the NDP 12 preparation process. This engagement will cover various stakeholders such as yourselves, being the media, the youth, private sector, civil society, general stakeholders, media, and local authorities. This is done to allow members of the society to present their aspirations and to guide the formulation of the plan. I wish to pause here to emphasize the need for feedback due to limited resources. I wish to pause here and emphasize the need for feedback because due to limited resources, not everything will be accommodated into the plan. It is therefore pertinent that we engage with you further beyond the plan to provide feedback on the final product. You are aware that the ruling party has set itself ambitious targets of economic growth rate of 10% and creation of 500,000 jobs within the next 5 years. That is from 2024 to 2029, which might seem insurmountable, but in reality it is achievable. And this will only be achieved if all stakeholders work together. So NDP 12 will be a vehicle that should have transformative ideas that will give us, or that will take us to our destination. I implore you, the media, to play a role of information dissemination to the public to encourage them to contribute to the process. As the NDP process unfolds, the NPC will engage with stakeholders to ask for ideas. The National Planning Commission has started the NDP 12 process, and like I indicated earlier, it will not be business as usual. We have directed the NPC to employ all possible platforms to ensure thorough engagement with different stakeholders so that we have an inclusive plan. The reference point will be the ruling party manifesto, which will infuse the nation's contribution to devise a transformative national strategy that will deliver on the promises. This will entail developing a completely revamped timetable that will drive the process to a new and inclusive Botswana. The whole process will end in October 2025, when the plan will be approved by Parliament. Parliament is actually expected to sit at the beginning of October. By the end of September, we should actually have the plan submitted to Parliament so that parliamentarians are able to familiarize themselves with the National Development Plan, after which there will be an engagement in Parliament during the month of October to adopt the plan, which is expected to come into effect on the 1st of November. As I conclude, I want to underscore the important role of all stakeholders in the advancement of Botswana. I once again wish to reiterate active participation of Botswana in creating wealth and building prosperity for all. The current government believes in inclusive growth and quality lives for all. Your wishes and inspirations and aspirations as a nation are our agenda. We thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, after that update by the Honorable Minister, it's in order now to invite questions, comments from yourselves. So, as usual, you raise up your hand, state your name, the media house you represent, and shoot away with your question. Any question? There's a roving mic.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Jane Ulysses. I just wanted to find out these engagements with stakeholders, where are they going to be taking place? We have seen in the past a lot of the engagements were done in Kotlas, and since this government is deliberate about being more inclusive, are we going to be seeing any town halls? How are you going to be including young people? Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. There's another hand.
Good morning. My name is Tlotlo Mbazo from Botswana Guardian and the Midweek Sun. My question is related to the previous speaker's question. I wanted to find out the type of feedback you are expecting from those consultations. I remember, I know it was in the previous government, but I remember when we were doing the constitutional review, the type of feedback that was received from such platforms, it might not have been the appropriate to have been included in the constitutional review. So my fear is that we might do the consultation as extensive as we want them to be, but they might not give us the feedback that we expect, especially when we are talking about such an important high-level plan, like the National Development Plan. And then my second question is, Since NDP 8, 9, 10, 11, and the current 12 that we are formulating, the emphasis has always been diversification throughout. And I was just hoping to hear what this one will do in issues of diversification, because for us to get to 10% economic growth and 500,000 jobs, it has a bearing on how we diversify our economy, industrialize, and things like that. So if you could help us with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have 2 more, then allow for response? Any more hands?
Thank you. My name is Alpha. I'm from a company called Red Square Communications. Kita butsa na mo how we plan and align our developments, because hanka fast kaika the special economic zone eko civil re plan it's more like a magnet ya economic activity. But that as it may be, if you look at kafardi the expansion ya movement to block 8 broadest because that has been the hub ya the kafartle be remove ekare go tla go tshwara ba jaaka ne rentse ko bogologolo again let's one tsela go di akwa nteng ga gona busi e siame ya gore ga le motho ka di sa go cycle from bono block 10 bo blockade ya kwa ga tsena kwa ga le go di standard di disclosure tsa gore gone go kwa a go tla go ra possibility gore di ka go tsa teng go ne le bo di ablution block gore motho ga a bollo ke mogote after a tlhape. Additionally, for what was nandi koloi tsela le fa ya go nga teng ga gora di labor ya gore kombi ka folosa motho sentle go teng go tla gore phakela le phakela maitio bo rebus police ba tle ba go tla go tla le ba public transport ka goreng di design ga e align le se re batlang go sa achieve ka go dira the special economic zone hub ya pereko and economic activity. So ne ke re gone fa re e tlhatswe gore ga re bua ka National Planning Commission e supervisor jang di gantso ne tse gore go felong bo letsatsi e be go loko go achieve so se re batla re nne so ne re le government wa letsatsi. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more so that I can allow for a response? There's a hand.
My name is Bonham from Bopa. If I recall very well, the idea of having this TNDP was to have is to sync with the electoral cycle. I just want to find out from the minister if that's also the position of the current government that the NDP should go along with the electoral cycle, and also considering that they should also touch on that. Does he think they will be able to implement whatever they will get from the public in almost it will be 4 years? Because if you say, he said something about starting it in November, so a year is already gone. So I just want to find out those two. And my last question, I don't know if I'll get the answer here, concerning the TNDTP, the current one that is being implemented. Can we get how is it progressing as of now? Is implementation? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this juncture, I would allow the Honorable Minister to give a response.
Thank you very much for your questions. Let me start off with Putsoyaga, the last speaker, Nele Reo. Ra? Rebwana, Tain Sarela, Rebwana. When you spoke, your question was are we going to align the NDP with the electoral? The feeling at the moment is that what we need to do is have like a buffer immediately after elections so that the incoming administration can plan for the next cycle. We had an NDP 12 that was ready in December. That was supposed to kick in on the 1st of April. It did not speak to our manifesto. It was not addressing our aspirations and what we believe were the aspirations of the nation. And that is why we felt that it was necessary to extend the TNDP up to the 1st of November. So it's only fair that if we believe in democracy, that every 5 years we should allow a new administration to be given space and room to come up with its own development plan. And that will speak to its promises to the voters. I hope that has taken care of your question, Rebona. Okay, and then in Wikia Allen. I don't know if it's the first name, can I say the name? Allen. Alpha, sorry, Alpha. Sorry, Alpha. Yeah, SEZ and what is happening, go Sibyl. You know, the issue you're planning is very important. Motioko Sohope, for example, ana interest in how the ratsela, who the interest that was about work ways. Anwe kalangoyoko old knowledge interest because already I get what to work every day. When I is about work in the evenings. And over that tiro, over that dijo, over that. So our interests differ. And when you are here, take into account your social station, you are going to have interest in a particular pattern, your development. And that is influenced by your position, your lifestyle, and all the other factors. So you cannot plan for somebody who Kotoromoja. What is important is for the people back Kotoromoja to identify their challenges and also guide you in terms or tell you how you need to resolve their problems as their leader. And that is how we are going to be approaching this. We are not going to dictate what enkai. Rather, we are going to have the overarching, overall perspective in terms of how we want things to be done. Health, we want to improve the facilities. That's what we want to do. But for the school, clinic, it is for the people in that area to decide. Jano yaga no buaka yabo SEZ. You raise a good point. Maybe long water two sound about to win. Balebele di khanzi le hore batsa hore dita araba matata a bone. I hope ki go arabile sente. Nya o bole show re ale ndage wa to ndage teke ki go lateletse. Because the question is what I got to I go go na le mongwe le ne o na le matshwenyo ga bona le yona. We are dealing with the challenges or the problems. We might have more planning in a hurry for military. You are raising very good questions, members. You know the problem that we have at times as leaders, something that we want to deal with in the current administration. Could we go to people already sensory to get the outcomes? If we approach things in that fashion, then we are going to fail. And I think that is why we have failed over the years. Because we are there to just guide, and we are so people should tell us what they want in their own areas. That is why what we are about the white elephants. White elephants say we drink or now you press or now you tell what they say. One the ivory tower. That is why we have such development. Say so and so did some about home, but how about time and facilitate them. Say, And if anything, over guide to the final destination, ko batang you are there. But Oscar no, I have a friend who has approached me, yo batang ho dira di kwele, kana yo batang ho dira di patela, kana yo batang ho dira no. I'm going to make sure I'm going to influence kile mo khoting hore ho dira hala. That's not what is going to happen. The government like Uritsi, we want to have, and like the president has indicated before, we want to have state-of-the-art schools. Remember to boy, ke wena ba tara bolela hore ba ta go na le dikwele ha kae. Rona ta make sure gore dikwele di nna teng. Re batla batho ba tse ba nna le botsogo jo bo siameng. We want to put schools, hospitals, ko batho ba lamba ba ta gore dikokelano di nne teng. And I think your health will agree with me. Ha wana o pe ile gore mona ha tsena la botsore mona gonya gompieno. Ga le ka gore o batla go bona botsogo jo botoka, because our health system to take mo system ka gore hela re ta bore go na la kwa on a structure, but how one about so yoga buanga so is either you are mona goya gompieno, we have to consider how bona ngaka wole like, how bona dipilisi wa wole like. Me re tsa gore se teng ke gore you should walk in and see how tsona ke ro bona ngaka o e bone. Me sontso ra mo ga re ga so nna go tso thawa ya sekolo a se patele mo ta bona ngaka ngwa nne so khana ra go thusa, but how khana gore wa how tsona ke ro bona ngaka o sontso ngaka o e bone maybe le dipilisi o sontse gore o di bone. No, in the past we've spoken about diversification. True. And this thing, like before, because we can feel the failure of 58 years, to diversify. If the first major investment in the government what was called the Sachet project. Involve a rail line from Silibe Peak to Silibe Peak. Just the setting up of the town at Silibe Peak. When we discovered diamonds in Orapa, the government didn't have the money. After having made commitments to some financiers like KFW to even finance Orapa. And that is when we had DBS ETA, EBETA financer, who's the Ramainu Orapa. That was the time in our country, and we relied a lot on minerals. But immediately to see it, rather create employment, kobo peak where can the lead to her man one to look peak about to have na ho Hasimal Laba Berga Locobo Rapa, how Berga Locobo Rapa, but what Bonaditir. But the problem is that we lost. There was a time in the Rivita that was the lost decade, where we are making a lot of money for minerals, but we failed to diversify. When the we are not even ready to deal with those little measures, even the money that we had. You can't even account for Madia and the measure, right? This question is poor planning. Rudumela got how na Majala Mansi, Banaba Waraka Tala, the bed shape, it's okay. Let's say invest in the future. That is the challenge. And we need to learn from that. We built schools, yes. We built Recense, Obana, Dikwele, after pressure. We relented, introduce education. So which was funded by a government to elect up to 90%. But it was not completely free. Janu, these things did really come but it was not enough. We are conservative, more planning haruna. There's a level copy. There is a level, how level 1945. We know what happened in 1945 when Japan was bombed. Japan was not separate in Japan. But where is Japan? China, which is now the second biggest economy. Say 50 years ago. Germany. Of course, it benefited from the Marshall Plan in America. But what I'm saying is, these were people who were focused. Look at Mahatsa and Lebo Kuwait. Look at Mahatsa and Lebo Qatar. Look at Mahatsa and Lebo Umpian Hazama, in Dubai. Dubai, you all in the Humpian. I say, no, Nakway. But these people have vision. But Harubwa or vision, and another vision 2036, Uga vision 26. But what you do, it does not talk to vision. Or Robata Wareka 2016, it was one level so you would learn for Botswana. But on the other hand, also training enough doctors, also training enough nurses. Kumpiena Harats and Awards and Mojinga Kimobunga, Haru, Bata, Baba Tusa, Helaka, X-ray. Wow, so cool, because Babsara train and Botswana Baba enough. We did not plan what Botswana, economy in 20 years' time, maybe in Nayang, maybe in Rakatsa. So this is the Rampuala when you go. Nearly touch and go. Mwele ho lo gone mo tsana hela lo gone khomo ye ne re na le yone ne mo sering ana re togetse BMC Kumpieno is in a bad shape, and these are we're in this situation largely because of corruption, misuse, le go bereka re eteletse pele re itebeletse ka borona. You know, we have acknowledged what these are the challenges that we have as a nation. Miri bua gore santanta re tshwanetse gore re tsenye madi a mantsi mo go baakanyeng infrastructure, ditsela, ditirelo, boroko re tshwanetse gore tokahatse diemo tse. Botswana e le ngwa mahatsa e leng gore e na le phaloganyo e tona gare ga bahumi le bahumanegi. Re bua mo lehatsheng la gompieno gore lehatshe le leng gore we are a middle income country. Me ha ro a lebella gore botsoje matsholo a re a tshelang as bua ka ha ile gore itsholo rona be le moteng ga se one me re ipelahatsa nako e o tlere ntse re ipelahatsa gore la hatse le humile Batswana bone masotega. These are issues that we need to deal with, and NDP 12 has to deal with these issues. So how do we make sure gore re dira gore itsholo ya la hatse la Botswana ra e hetola imbibile o khona re Batswana ba bone phaloganyo mo itsholo ya la hatse la bona ba ya kola. How do we make sure as a country gore ha ona le itsolelo what ke middle income country, you still have somebody who goes to work and looks after somebody yo robetseng a le mo lapeng e le security guard wa go tsamaya ene a ba chaisa kgwedi hela ka 1.8. Is that proper? Is that fair? This is a conversation that we need to have. Are we not breeding poverty? And very making sure we burden these people. 20 years from now, we will sell the handouts more. Poverty because those families are given an opportunity. These are the things that we need to talk about. When we say we have to make sure that we move towards paying people a minimum of 4,000 pula. If there are people who are making mega profits, they contribute towards those profits, then we have a problem. If we can't facilitate business and make sure the business, they are given attention and they are attended to, and we create an environment for business to flourish, then we have a problem as a country and we not advance. Why is it that it takes so long to register a company? We tell about Botswana, but the envelope on Botswana government service. And because we have not created an environment, sa bona ke go thola ba tetse naga e yotlhe. This we need to sanzo re itebaganya ka sone re bona gore change dilo tse. Agriculture re bua ka gore sanzo re invest madi a mantsi mo temothuong re bona gore temothuo e kgona go heta ditiro mo lehatsheng la Botswana. Le gore re thule le bodirela puso re bereke mo go bone gore re bo re thule gore ba bodirela puso ga le gore ba tla go nna le tshulelo le e yeng go pele e leng gore re bua ka Botswana yo e leng gore re o mosha re tshwanetse re change le mindset ya badirela puso and even the mindset of the politicians. Ba politiki le rona re se ka dumela gore we know all. We re ka dira dikwele but ha re ka dira infrastructure raga but ha the mentality wa rona re le politicians re tsa go re itse sengwe le sengwe e sa kgone go amogela gore Batswana ba tshwantse gore bone ba re bolele se ba se batang re tharabollo di mo go bona ga di mo go rona, then we are going to have a problem. But most importantly is re le Batswana re tshwantse re be our country first and our personal interests go morago. Ke tsone dikgang tse re bua ka tsone mme re tsa gore ya ka member o disitse na botsa gore anong ra go tshwara diphuthego tse ka ra go tshwara diphuthego tse balaodi ba leng gore ke bone ba coordinator dikgantse ba kupile gore ba di tshwarele ko di mo di holong me tota re kopana le ba eteledi pele santa re kopana le bone le bo marara le mbogosi ma parlamente otlhe ma councilora otlhe di committee tsa dithabollo tsa metsi yotlhe ra go make sure gore we also have ke buile ka ma council secretary le ba eteledi pele ka go harologana le lona le ba bega dikgang le tshwanetse gore le nne le sabe se leng gore le nna le sone. We know right now government o ntshitse o rumile sele le solo ya go bua le bala go bua le lona gore ana ba bega dikgang le batla go bona bo ga bega dikgang jo bontseng jang ja bua ko pele ke ntse di bo gore khannang go le khone go le rona get us to account as by the DP ke mo go le khannang gore le bereke sente re bua le ba bereki re bua le ba business because re dumela gore rothe ha re tshwaragane re ka khona gore ya ka ne ke buile khantele re ka khona gore ano 10% yo re mua wa growth re mo atume re gore go mo go yena re ka khona go make sure gore 500,000 jobs ra di dira re ka khona gore re nna le mmereki yo tanga le motivated e senyo ikgogang ka gore o hirile o tshwantse gore ha ta le itewa o mangwe e le mmereki yo tang because wa itse gore o tshwanetse go contribute towards the growth of this country. That is the mentality tshwantse gore nne le yone mme mo go ka nna go ka diragala ha rothe re dumela gore we acknowledge each other, we respect each other, we work as a team and we know our limits. Re itse gore le ine ya gago ke ehe ha so re ha ile gore for example ke le ha ke le politiki mo ra gore ke I'm all over. I can't be all over. Le ba bega dikgang le ona le itse yo lane. For example, people are complaining about bobega dikgang as bobega dikgang ja rona ha bontse gompieno a bo a thusa towards nation building o bo wa dikgang bo rotoetsa gossip bo rotoetsa le tshaba se se nang divisive se le gore we are always bringing each other down. If that's what you are doing and you're doing it well, fine. But if you need to introspect and say re dira sente le lona mansi le lona le bona a me dira sente go re ha motho a tenne ke sengwe wa ta aba a designer go master head aba la thela aba kwala sengwe e be nna ke take online publication e bo go tala bo go to go sia messing up maselo a batho ba bangwe messing up gore mo Botswana we need to also have this thing we should encourage people to succeed, to be successful. But we have this thing where we discourage people from being successful. How not successful when I'm not. But we need to make sure that we strengthen organs like both DC, EC, and others to make sure that we don't have corruption. But and that has to stop. This is the conversation that we have. Because maybe we are going to support each other. We are going to be intentional in terms of what about what. You will the whole one ya mene ke tsa gore ke ya rabile ya ga me ma ulisitse e ke tsa gore ke khonne go di araba ka botelle le go tatsa le tsene ke sa di kgang ke gore mo ke thalo se gore ka if me assist ka di 8 which is tomorrow re mo ga borone re tla bo re kgobokane, I'm told kwa Havani ka 2 re tshwanetse be re le ko batse ke bile re tabele mo holong ya le batse. We've encouraged gore batho ba te ko di hole, and everybody is invited go ta go ba iteledi pele makgota gore tere ba bolelle gore le ba buisanya at a district level gore totally ba batla go ipona ba ya kae. That is important. And then when ba ta go consult batho ba bone, we want people to be free gore ba tsema ikutlwa a bone ba ipuya ba le no se re seyo, because ha o ta o le ha go le minister batho ba ipuya ka thoko ha ngwe khona go hella o nna nkete ano o gogela dikobo ka ha wena wa ka ntse gore go nne ka teng. So after these meetings they will go meet be ba buisanya ko bothokong be ba bona gore ba batla go bona dikgaolo tsa bone di ya kae, ba bata eng mo dikgaolong tsa bone. Ka di 9 next week ke di 15 re tabo re tsweletse tabo re le go Sedibe Phikwe. We are also going to Palape, we are going to Tsabong, we are going to Kang, we are going to Kasane, we are going to Francistown. Re lekile go kopanya dikgaolo tse mme maikeelelo ke gore ha re sena go kopana go ya ka ne ke bua ba ta go dira moreno ko ba tomba le teng e be ba bona gore travel di ntse. Let's look at an example ba gaetso le ga re santse bo gore swenya gompieno re bua gore ko rapa ke ga go la ke bua khanya a ga lebela khanya wa rapa le bole thakana. Made the town ya rapa, was it its location, the way ne gore it's a tsweletse ka teng, was it speaking to developments in that area? How tsama gompieno kgaolo ya botete ke ngwa dikgaolo tse leng gore di humanegile ha ke rights dikgaolo tse tsa bole thake le tsa bokgalagadi. Jano the question ke gore ha ile gore you had resources di extractiwa di inconvenience batho ba go ne wena mahirisa a bone go ne ba le mateng go ne ba reng e bo bona di tsompelo di tsewa di ya go thabola the rest of the country, mme go sna sepe se leng gore it compensates for the sacrifice se batho ba idirleng a ke yone dithabolo tse di siameng. Malabane ke bura bangwa gape ke ba bolella gore bangwa ba ileng gore ba goletse ko bo Sedibe Phikwe ha o tswa ya go bo Madinare the west side ya Phikwe ke gone mo se go denge to ga thunya gompieno batho ba le bane ba sotwa ke mine wa hella sulfur inetso mo mining e bola vegetation in that area. Gompieno batho ba modimo ga ba kgone gore ba itsetse after having paved way for gone tropo ya Sedibe Phikwe ka masimo a bodele meraka a bona. A ke tsone thabollo tse re di batang tsonetse ha re bata gore re thabolle ya ka gompieno go na le dimaene tse batho ba ka yang go di bula a rara go bula dimaene tse a batho ba ba ho bone ga bone ta be nna hela go koleka la hatseleng mme go sena gore ka re ba thusang ka manoko a nang a teng a go tang ka bogodu a teng ka dikgang tse dintsi tse di tang le dithabollo. These are the things tsone dikgang tse tsontse re go bua ka tsone re le setšhaba re bona gore re isa go pele le gone go bua gore ano ra re batla go dira jang ka gore ano le tsone ditsompelo tse di tswang mo mekoting a re tshwantse gore rona ne le ba re epang hela me finished products e be di ya go sele di finished products di sa gone gore di nne mo lahatseng la Botswana. Ke dikgang tse tshwantse re bua ka tsone re le setšhaba sa Botswana ba gakologalwang go sa le ba bua bangwe ka 1969 ba ntse ba bua go ya bothopa bua gore a re dire hela le bone bo kgobo go kgomo e ka dira ditiro tse dintsi matalo di dira dithako naka di dira dikonopo di dira di marasha di thako. But we are here ke opportunity ya go re bua gore re batla go Botswana yo ntseng jang yo humileng ka ditsompelo mme ha o lebella batho ba teng ba nne ba humanegile hela kana ha o ka lebella gona re khumane go ya lehatse la Botswana yo kgedi ha e hela re tala mo dibankeng le di ATM gona ga ga teng kgedi ha hela ha gare gore ATM gona gore gona bona ra moshino a teng wa etelo le one, and that is a sign ya sengwe. That is a sign. In fact, ha re bua yana re mo go godimang re mo go April ba ngwa se tsa mako go June ba jama dia June ha re bua yana me ga ba itire because re dumela gore motho ha bereka ga tswana radio ele sent again ha o bua ka bo go ra dinele batho 4,000 hata ha re bua sent ha re bua malo ba re bua gore let's increase madi ba go du e ko 1.8 ga re thaitse ka rona go sena wasna maritetse madi a seo mo sepatšeng sa government la batho bangwe ba re ba itse madi a kae tsa re ba ta thalosa ka ebile forensic ke tatangwa ka forensic ba thalosa madi a kae ka nna re ithetse go sena madi but madi go ntsere madi ile gore ya no go nela batho 1.4 and 1.4 ya go change matsholo a batho ba le bantsi ka gore ba bangwe ba thokomela bana ba ile gore ke mosadi mogolo ho mo na le bana ba bana ha ile ana le mona mogolo go 2.8 o ka ga le kana mo ka thusa gore ba khone gore a hokotse le poverty. And I'm telling you, with these interventions that we are putting in place, when you have 4,000 year about anything, loan have 1.4, which we believe will go up soon from 1.4 ga go pele le gona dituelo tse dingwe tsa bana ba dikwela ka ne ba di brigade di allowance ile go godimo go ta leka go tokahatsa seemo sa lehuma. And the unfortunate thing is batho ba ile gore bone ba bona le tshwelo e botoka ga ba lemoge the impact that this is making mo bathong. They are downplaying this. Me go thusa batho bao ba ile gore gompieno ha o ka tsena mo lapeng la bone wa tsena mo lapeng a batho go thusa bothoko. And we botsa re dipelo tsa rona di le kae me o ka ipotsa re motho ene o mo wa rehanyo a sa lemoge what the impact what the impact this is going to have mo tsena ha ka ba rena a tsene gone go la ile 30 seconds ha ke a ema gone go me ga batho gore motho we mo a ntshiwe mo sone sense ya ka mpeno re bua ka dithulano tsa bo bonno housing scheme. This is where we should be going gore re batla go bona motswana yo e leng gore ha tsoga ya tirong ha boa o ta itumetse a itse gore o tswa go godisa itsholelo ya bona e seng ke tenda ile bogobeng ha boa maitse ba ola la sa robala motho a modimo a budgeta megala e tsena o ntse gore o mpeile ha kae ka madi a maloba ke tso di khatsetse tse le matswana tsela mo tsone. We need to re tswe mo seemong sone se ba gaetso ke a leboga.
Honorable Minister, for the responses. Ke tsa ke re o di arabile ka bo phara le tse dingwe tse ne le sa di botsa o di arabile. I don't know if the acting CG or ACG, do you have anything to add to the honorable ministers? Ahwan. Ke tsa ke re ke gone gotlhe mo ne re tsile go arologa. You have a burning? Okay, I will allow it.
Enya ke Felicity Male from Daily News. Ne ke re ke botsa tona gore yana batswana ba tla itseng ka diputhegotsi gore schedule ke ra ka schedule ba go tle go se bona yang gore tsena kwa mosoke kwa ka mosoke. Thank you.
A ke tske bua le ke gona ke nya kana ne ke re go eteletse ke puthego tsa ba eteledi pele ka go halogana mo di kgaolong jaano mo ra gore ba ga molaodi ba re disanya le ba eteledi pele mo di kgaolong tse le mekgatho e ka leng gore ngwe e na le sabe e dumela gore ga ya ngwe e sa lediwa. That is why we are here today gore mo di kgaolong ka go haloganya e kitetseng mme ke tsa gore se se leng teng ha ke re madikong ra go nna le sebaka sa go kopana le batho ba di interest di haloganyeng of NPC ke a setšhaba so ga nna go emela ba le go ha ile ka ke go ha se kae ha ile gore ngwe kana bo fepuso e batla go ta e kopana le tsotso le tira ka ke ra to ka rengi re ba consult batho a tsona le bone bo mmisa yana ha ke ra to ka re tsara la consult me e bile lona you are even that's why ke lona e bile le go pele ba be ga di khanga already there is go na se se diragalang gompieno o tshwanetse re dire thulaganyo engwe gape ya go bua ka gone ha thulaganyo ya batigeng ya bobega dikgang je ja puso for the future ra bona ke we want to set up a team e tatang ya ra advice go ra kae mme bile ga re batla so se re to ta re se dira re se ithaganetse be se to ga se collapse from within 6 months. We want to make sure that, and let me tell you, 2 years from now ka ha madi a shotanga te le ka re batang go tsa madi ra isa mo go tokatse matshelo a batho mo mothong yo mongwe gompieno a tshwana ke gore a choose between clinic le gore madi a isue ko bobega dikgang o ka rata a duele borre ba gago o ta ba bola re nya la tshameka le seno bola ka bo BTV le bo Daily News le boeng na re batla dijo re batla dikwele re batla di clinic. So we have to start working very hard mo gore re hokotse madi a ra spendang mo bobega dikgang ja puso. And we should admit gore bobega dikgang ja puso ne la na appendage ne diriswa ke puso e ne heta go pusha agenda ra yona. And that cannot be tolerated. That cannot be allowed. We have to make sure that re nna le bobega dikgang jo e leng gore bo ha go represent the interest tsa rona rotlhe re le setšhaba sa Botswana. But we are not going to rush it. We want to have systems tse leng gore di bewa in place to make sure that go tabo re ka ska ra latella sepe re sa dire re diragetse. When something says start and say last, we have models in place. You can look at the model Sabo BBC, Sabo SABC. I was talking to somebody because this is something that we will continue to talk about. But model SABC is not okay. We can't get people to pay for the SABC TV license. I make it one. I'm model where we can also probably have a commercial wing, for example, within BTV. It generates madi for BTV, for Botswana Daily News, le radio Botswana. It is autonomous, but it is the platform too. Look, Mongo advertiser over coverage yearly. As one. How long you have daily news? How long you can eat like poem made can happen like a poso. More etsa heta ya mora kenga etsa. Then more than a rich yensu raisa other papers. So why are we utilizing Netanyahu? Whether circulation and daily news, BTV is all over. Are we getting the revenue from BTV? Why don't we push that? We are going to continue having conversation. We are now talking about laying a foundation. 2029, all of us, our party here can why 2025 2029. Let's make sure that by 2029 we have 100,000 houses. We have 500,000 jobs. Baba tola ko mahatsi ha wa tsena mahatsi a tshwana nkobo khata o tsena mahatsi a tshwana le kobo o tsena le kobo go go Dubai we tla ga ditrunya tse dingwe tse ga di bereke batho ba mahatsi a ba kere and they're paying those people quite well. Jano rona re dumela gore go thoka go duela motho sente ke one mo go siame. That is why you can have. And we also have to look into issue that we have talked about for so long. So it's about outsourcing. Do we still need to outsource certain functions? Aren't we weakening the state? Do our mental sons also private sector? Private sector. We need to seriously look into issue the security guards. Security guards 20 years ago, security guard will afford to go to a bank. About loan. I give one security guard won't be in private sector. We can go that. We can do that. Except I tell them machoni. See, there is small time machoni. Kena ba motswara, aba malaisa interesting. Aba try, aba mo impoverish. And unfortunately, when we say these things, ogara bato rebuaga model. Rare, as a country, we have to have a conversation. Say frank. What I remember, I want to sponsor the Lumal Hassan Labotswana. Ba ngo whenever hangwa ka hela. Be ba di holidaying. Ba go jama na taba itabisa di pioho le batho ba bone. Ba ngo bone be le gore no ba sala me le gore motho a tsantso ra e gae ga a kgone go ne madi a go a gae ha ya gae ha tsantso ra boe o na le mathata a go boa a me go siame. Is it normal? This ke sone ga tsantso re bua ka tsona ga di normal. Ha o duela me re ile ba tsara bolela gore ha o duela batho sente le tsolo ya go eta kgona gore e gole. Jano ke tsone re bua ka tsone ba ga itshore ne re re batala economy le gore re le Batswana in 5 years e be le gore madi a tsena mo lehatsheng la Botswana re kgona go tshela sente re le ka. Yeah, no, so that's why people batho ba rona ba ngo ba hella ba sotwa ke seemo se le mo sone la be hele mo mo ba re ka ga ditema ga dire ke a re mo le mo a ne le tema na go itekisitse re bona re gonna ba ba ke dipua tsa batho ba setse ba heletse ba le frustrated because if you live for the system clients is not able to take care of them. Let's not allow people to lose faith in the system. a re baakanye the system so that it takes care of all of us. Yeah.
Ra leboga, Honorable Minister.
I actually had forgotten about it. Ke tlotlo gape. The US president just announced recently the tariffs on Botswana, 37%. And that reliance on the diamonds, ke ne ke batla go itse NPC, maybe your opinion on that and how you are dealing with it. Thank you.
You know, the issue here, whenever you have we have a good, Botswana thing, we have relationships, a good relationship, we have a good relationship with the US, we have a good relationship with Russia, we have a good relationship with everyone. And when we have a problem, it poses a challenge more. Malaba, the president was here. He met with the Secretary of State and engaged me UN assurance that would not be affected. We will engage the US, and unfortunately, we will not say it how we'll do it, but we'll engage with the US because based on the good relationship that we have with everyone, with the Chinese, with the Americans, everybody, we should be able to find a solution. But sometimes my America a responsibility as a country to look at their own interests. So Lurona will talk to them and see how we can find each other. Responsibility to their own people. Lurona an economy port to pit. Again, had the pit to port. How one so that we reduce our dependence more. But also, you know, how if you pay people well, you create only effective demand. Yeah, go to the say. Yeah, no, I see them and more like you a pala, we polish a lot. This is we are thinking who work injuries. Yeah, no, similar. You get what happened in South Africa post apartheid. The economy grew, and it grew because of what? Because of the emergence of the black middle class. Why can't we grow middle class like a robust, strong Botswana? The problem I think we need to make sure that we build the capacity, the confidence, and that's why Leonardo Shaba Sonso is similar. Even though kahari buangate, legahari bisanyangate, lekonya Singapore because we don't want to give each other support. But I got this things to do. I don't know what Hasor nale onale singo se siri dira ngwa. Like if the America, if China ba dile yalo, if Japan ba dile yalo, bo Korea ba dile jalo, we can do it. Yeah. Mata korota wara miss you na la distancing na 14 wa nya tsawar wai asemo to ase bese if motu ate o sonso ra tsholo go ngwarata go no succeed.
SG.
Kale bgamtsa mesati ka dumedisa ne ke re ke tatse se minister a se buileng ka di consultation gore mo the process ya the NDP 12 consultations is a continuous process from the beginning to the end. Tse minister a ntsenga di thalosatse ke tsone tse di bulelang ke the preliminary consultations ya ka supile gore taba a consulta with the district leadership. Gongwa re tlhare ka ga kologela gore our planning process is a bottom up approach. So has nona engage the leaders, the district leaders, the various districts ba gonna lead engagement le batho ba di kgaolo tsa bona, so that we can identify the key issues that will be emanating from those respective districts. And then ha re kopanang teng at national and district ra itse rothe gore di district di na le di district development plans le di urban development plans. So rona re le NPC, we work closely le Ministry of Local Government, le balaodi, ba e leng gore ba under Ministry for State President, to ensure gore those issues that have been identified to go to district, they also inform the National Development Plan. So ra gonna le di consultation tse leng gore they will be focused ya kana supile beyond tsone tsa di district. Gompe go santse re le mo processing ya go develop the draft. As soon as also the draft in place after consultation, we will also be sharing what the draft contains with the various stakeholders, including yourselves, the media. So nikere ke hitise yalo, and then go tatsa mo go eneng le bua ya the tariffs. Ga re dira plan kana re tswa ka lenaneo la dithabolo, re lebella tsotlhe dikgwetlho tse leng gore re le legatse as a country ra di face, including yone eo ya di tariff. Re lebella di global or international challenges, the issues tse leng gore da there tse leng gore di affecta economy ya rona. So our plan is also outward looking, so that ha re tswa the priorities tsa rona tse tebeng re di priorities re le Botswana, re santse re itse gore me go na le eng kwa ntle se leng gore we need to also look out for. So those issues will also be considered as we will be drafting our national development plan. Ne ke re ke tats se minister a ntseng a se tlhalosa. Ke a leboga.
Thank you, Mamo Khati. Ra buile betso. So, ka se sebaka tla ke biletse ko seraleng the Acting Commissioner General to give a vote of thanks.
Ke a leboga Karabo, nte ke simolle ka go leboga Honorable Minister for the message and also going beyond his address for her further information. And I also want to thank you for making time to be with us and also sharing your thoughts around developments in this country. Like the minister indicated in his address, we work with a lot of stakeholders, and you are among those which are very critical in our process. Planning, like Mamo Khatina Bua, is dynamic. We never stop planning. That is our mandate. We are the National Planning Commission, so it's our everyday life. And we are always happy to engage with stakeholders like yourselves. We were listening keenly when you were commenting, because the Khanseli Dibuang, they help us in our planning process. The minister, in his address, he wanna indicate that it will not be business as usual. And where we are currently, I think ke bona ngwana a botsa ka gore re tsamaya ka NDP 12. Me NDP 12, we are just starting. Like the minister said, we had a draft, but we are starting the process NDP 12. So it's something selling what has to be transformational. Minister Rana bua gore kana bana di target tse leng gore di go godimo. And bo go godimo ja then says to us, you have to change the way you have always been doing things, because ra go la ntse re le harlenteng re le mo go ne go teng ke middle class trap. Yaanong re tsantse re thato sa maoto re bona gore dio dia hetoga, we overhaul the process itself. Re ntse re na le timetable la NDP 12 le gore re ntse re follower. So what we are doing currently ke gore re lebelle, we are benchmarking across ba leng gore are the best, and ra nyo gore mme bone ba go rogile jang ko. So we are completely overhauling the process. You might find at a later stage or even the way we have been engaging with yourselves has changed, because relevance process including the structure of the plan itself. That is where we are. Yaanong le wile ma go kwa mantsi tota e leng gore we realized gore some of the approaches that you have been following, we need to reconsider. Le wile ka feedback, you talked about diversification, which is very true. As far as I can recall, public service, it has always been part of our conversation, but we are still here, diversification. But I have confidence that This time around, we should be able to diversify. Hara go tswa ka kwa some years later, we should be able to look back at the structure of our economy. Re bone e le gore tota we have a lot of the sectors contributing meaningfully to our GDP. Kanya Alpha is very true. Alpha is saying, look at the way you plan. And Rona national planning, we are talking integrated planning, we are talking thematic area approach. So we are saying, as you plan, we should not plan in silos. So you are right, Alpha, that in our planning, we should be looking at all the areas of planning. How this is going to impact on the lives of ordinary people. So with those few remarks, I just want to say thank you so much, and thank you, Minister, for making time to be with us, to share with the public about TNDP, as well as to launch preparation of NDP 12. We will be engaging with you as the media. This is not the last engagement. We'll be happy to engage with yourselves. And as we proceed to get guidance from our leadership and shape the planning process, we will make time to engage with yourselves so that you can also give feedback and contribute to the process. Thank you so much and enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, Mama Likongwa. We've come to the end of our press briefing. At this juncture, I would allow Mama Likongwa to usher the minister as we stand up.
Ke putega bo ga motho se diragala gone ha mass media complex le putega bo ga dikgang buiselo ke tona mo ofising ya ga tona merara ofisi ga tona re mo ntemhasa ana jalo le ba National Planning Commission mokamedi tata mo tshwarela mokamedi wa National Planning Commission malukong bobedi ja bone ba itsisi bo ga dikgang ka Transitional National Development Plan. Le nana wala la motshela khabo la ditlhabollo le gore le ne tshwantse gore le be le wala jana